All right. And find a comfortable seat. If you have any props, you can have them available around you for later. So we'll start with some breath awareness after I do the opening invocation chant and set some intentions. The new moon is really perfect for intention setting. It has the energy of new beginnings and fresh starts. So if you have any intentions that you're working with right now, you can use those, or you can always use a bodhisattva vow to just help all beings, all sentient beings, come into enlightenment and release suffering. So we'll start by bringing hands to prayer position at the heart center. And take a few breaths to ground, arrive. We'll start with a prayer for all beings, the Shanti Pataha, which is a peace mantra. And there are a few of those. This is one of my favorites. And you can join me for Om or for the whole thing. And take an inhale. Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, and now you can release your hands. And coming to really find a long, straight spine. So roll the shoulder blades onto the back and sitting on your sitting bones. So rather than back on your tailbone with a rounded spine, try to come forward on the sitting bones. And if that's a challenge for you, you can always take a block and sit up on a block. And that'll be a bit easier on the hips. If you ever have any knee pain when you're coming into this kind of external hip rotation, I'm going to be very mindful of that. You don't want any type of sensation, tightness in the knees. So it's coming from the hips. So come up onto a block if that feels good. And you can bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. And just start to breathe here. A simple noticing of the breath. And now start to feel the belly rising into your hand as you inhale. And then as you exhale, the belly drops in, the navel draws towards the spine as you try to completely exhale and empty all the breath out. So you don't have to wait for my breathing cues. You can, if you're on the inhale, when I say exhale, just go with whatever your natural breath is doing and wait till the next one comes around to take my cue. So as you inhale and the belly rises, it's your diaphragm dropping. So this is diaphragmatic breathing. A lot of the times we're trapped in this kind of upper chest cavity breathing. And it's much more relaxing to breathe into the belly. The air isn't going into the belly. It's the diaphragm dropping and helping to stimulate the vagus nerve and bring a greater sense of well-being to the body and mind. And so now that you have the belly rising, and you can start to feel also the ribs expand. If you want to put your hands at your side ribs, you can feel there, or you can keep one hand on the belly and on the chest. And now if your hands are at your ribs, you can come back to the one hand on the belly, one hand on the upper chest area. And with the inhale, the belly rises, the ribs expand out, and then the chest also rises up and out, kind of like a lever on a bucket. And breathing deeply and fully, relax your face and your jaw, straight spine. And you can put your hands in your lap at your knees, or you can put your hands in cosmic mudra with the right hand over the left and the thumbs touching. And continue this awareness of breath. And now as you breathe, start to notice the pause that happens naturally between the inhalation and exhalation, and then between the exhalation and inhalation. So you inhale, you come to the very top of the inhale, and then there's a slight pause, not a holding, just a pause before it turns back around into the exhalation. And then the exhalation comes all the way to the bottom as you fully empty the lungs. And then there's a brief pause as it turns back around into the inhalation. It's called the stamba. And it's always good to try and just gently and slightly lengthen the stamba, the pause, without any holding or forcing. And just merely becoming aware of this space between the breath is a real pure meditation. So there's kind of no movement of the breath, and so there's usually no movement of the mind here. So at this pause, just clear, empty mind, a pause of breath and a pause of thought. And here within this awareness of breath, you can call to mind your intention and recite your intention to yourself silently 3 times, and always keeping it in the positive, in the present when you formulate your intention. You can use the words I am or I will. Okay, now moving into our ninefold purification breathing practice, and this is a Tibetan medicine pranayama breathing practice, and it's the preliminary for the practice of Nejang, which we're going to do after. And this is to really wake up the nervous system, the subtle body, and it's done with some breath holds and self-massage. So we'll do a little bit of Nejang after the ninefold breath purification, and then we'll move into more Hatha Yoga Asana. So first thing, you take the hands out in front of you and touch the thumb to the base of the ring finger, and then close your fingers over the thumb. So you're making fists with the thumb inside the fist. And now bend at the wrist and bring the backs of the hands to your inner hip crease. And then try to straighten your arms as best you can. So the shoulders may shrug up by the ears, that's totally fine. And then roll the shoulder blades onto the back. And if you feel like you need more space, the closer in you bring the backs of the hands inside the hip crease, and you'll have more space for the arms. And this is really just practicing this posture, is making you more comfortable in it. So we have the long straight spine, and then the shoulder blades on the back, slightly tuck in the chin, gaze down the tip of the nose, and you can keep your tongue at the roof of your mouth, which helps to keep the jaw relaxed. And this is called Vairochana. This is 7-point meditation posture. And we're going to keep this posture as we practice the Nejang. Okay, so first we do ninefold breath purification. So you can release your hands out from the hip crease. Extend the right finger. The right index finger comes out into a point. Keep the thumb at the base of the ring finger. And now you're going to take the left index finger and seal the left nostril with the left index finger. And then inhale on the right and use the right finger to trace your right side energy channel, the sun channel. Keep inhaling all the way to the bottom, and then hold your breath when you get to the bottom. Keep holding, and then draw the energy back up the left side. Right index finger seals right nostril, exhale left. And out pours the red smoke of anger and aversion, purifying the right side channel. And now inhale on the left side. Use the left index finger to chase the left side, the moon channel. Inhale all the way down to the bottom. Hold the breath. Draw the breath up the right side. Seal the left nostril with the left finger. Exhale on the right. And imagine white smoke coming out, attachment. and desire, purifying. Now both hands are released. And inhale both nostrils and use both index fingers to trace the side energy channels. Hold the breath at the bottom and then drawing up the impurities and exhale both nostrils. So that's one round. I'm going to do 2 more to make 9. So now sealing the left nostril with the left index finger, inhaling on the right. Imagine rainbow light of wisdom pouring down the right energy channel. Hold the breath at the bottom and bring the impurities up the left side. Seal the right nostril. Exhale on the left. And inhale, left side, rainbow light. Hold at the bottom, drawing up the impurities. Seal the left, exhale right, white smoke. Both hands release. Inhale, both nostrils. Rainbow light pouring down the side channels. Hold at the bottom, and then coming up the central channel. Exhale, blue smoke. And one more round. Inhale left, seal the left side, inhale right. Hold at the bottom and draw it up. Hold the right side, exhale left. Red smoke. Inhale left. Hold and draw it up. Exhale right, white smoke. Release both nostrils, inhale both sides. Hold at the bottom and draw it up, and then exhale, blue smoke. And then come back to Vajra with your backs of your hands to your inner hip creases. And you can close your eyes and note any kind of residue you feel from that breathing practice. And then we'll do some Neijong. So now we'll do a few of the practices, and there's 24 altogether. We'll do some of them today. And so another aspect of this practice now that we'll add in is the breath retention. So first you're going to take an inhale and you're going to relax the belly so that you can fill the belly with air and the belly expands like you're making a pot or a vase. So you can imagine the belly filling like a vase. And then when you hold the breath, there's a lifting of the pelvic floor and there's a bit of a pressing down from above, from the diaphragm into the belly. So you imagine this big pot as you hold the breath. And then we do the different postures. So for example, rub the ear vigorously 21 times as you hold the breath the whole time. And then at the end, you throw off any negative energy and come back to Vajra. And then the exhalation is like shooting an arrow. So it's through the nose and it's a steady stream of exhale. And then at the very end, it's like shooting an arrow off and it sounds like this. So at the very end, it's kind of like a forceful exhalation through the nose, kind of like if you were trying to blow a fly off the tip of your nose. And that's not coming from the belly, it's just coming more from the chest. So just give it a go if it's your first time and just do your best and eventually it will start to click. So it's kind of fake it till you make it process with some of these practices. So the first body part is the ear. So we make our kumbha or our vase breath. And then as we hold the breath, we're going to use the left hand to massage the right ear 21 times. Throw off the energy, back into Vajra, and then exhale. Okay, so I'll do it with you. Take an inhale. And second side, so now the right hand will massage the left ear. Make your vase breath. Next, we'll do the crown of the head. So first, the right hand will vigorously rub the crown of the head, the top of the head, throw off the energy, exhale, and then the left hand will do the same. So one breath per side. Inhale and hold. And second side, inhale. Shooting the breath off like an arrow. Next, we're going to massage the back of the head. So the hands will interlace. You'll place the palms of the hands at the back of the head and neck and just vigorously rub the back of the head and neck. But first, we take the Vajra breath. Make your kumbha. Interlace the fingers, hold the back of the head. And now we'll massage the third eye area. For this one, you're going to keep the thumb at the base of the ring finger, but open the other fingers. And then the pinky side of the hand, kind of like a karate chop, is going to rub up and down on the third eye area, just at your forehead between your eyebrows there. And then we'll do the second hand after we exhale from the first. Inhale. And second side, inhale. Just notice any sensations you feel as we move through the practice. Maybe you feel tingling. You could start to feel your etheric body, your subtle body. Okay, now next we turn the head right and left. So 7 times, right, left. Inhale first. And next we'll do the shoulders. So first the right hand will rub the left hand will rub the right shoulder as you kind of move the shoulder around in this shoulder joint. So you're rubbing and then also shrugging and rotating, just moving everything around, massaging, getting it all nice and loose, and throw off the energy, and then the exhale, and then we'll do right hand to left shoulder. So first side is left hand to right shoulder. Inhale, make your Vajra breath. Shooting the breath like an arrow. Okay, second side, Vajra breath, and then right hand to left shoulder. And just as the moon has influence over the tides of the ocean, also helps to move the fluids in our body. So this next one is really good for your lymphatic system. And you're going to bring your right hand on top of your head, and then the left hand will massage this area in the armpit and on the right side chest. So kind of a pinching, massaging, rubbing, and then throw off the energy back to Vajrayana and shoot off the breath. And then we'll do the right hand under the left arm. Inhale, Vajra breath. And now left hand is going to come on the top of the head, and then the right hand massage under the left arm. Inhale. Next, we're going to do just the heart center right in the middle of the chest. So you're going to make your Vajra breath and then just vigorously rub right down, up and down the center of the chest. Inhale. Okay, now for this next one, there's a couple of different positions you can take. So if you're comfortable in this kind of boat pose position, you can find the space between your tailbone and sitting bones and either hold the backs of the legs or cross your arms in front of you. And we're going to kick, open the legs, and then switch which shin comes in front. So first the right leg will come in front and then the left. I'm going to do that 7, 14, or 21 times. But if you're feeling unstable in this position, you can always lie on your back and do it like this, which is quite nice. So just decide which one you want to do first. And then make your Vajra breath. Especially after these long breath holds, it's nice to just pause between each body part, each sacred point, and just notice the effect. Because each of these locations has a connection with different meridian points. So kind of like an acupuncture. You may feel even emotions coming up. So for example, next we'll do the ankles. So the ankles are on the kidney meridian. And so this is connected with the low back pain, the kidneys, and even joint pain. So for this exercise, after you make your breath, you're going to rub the ankles vigorously. So first rubbing, and then you're going to use your open hand to tap, 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 and then throw it off, and then we'll come back to Vajra. Okay, let's make the Vajra breath. Now we're going to do kind of similar thing with the calves. So it's going to be rubbing all around, and then you're going to make loose fists, and then just patting all around with your loose fists. And this exercise is helpful in releasing fear, preventing bad dreams, and even panic attacks. And in this very center of the calf, kind of below the back of the knee, is your fear point. So you can even try and find that point. It's like a pressure point, releasing fear. Okay. Find Vajra and make your Vajra breath. And next is the thighs. So same thing with the thighs, just like we did with the calves. Okay. Deep inhale. Now we're going to come onto the hands and knees in a cat-cow position. So when we do the exhale for this one, it's more of a ha breath. It's not going to be a shooting of the arrow. So it's kind of like the tiger's breath or the lion's breath in Hatha yoga. You can slightly stick out your tongue. And so we're going to be doing the breath holds. And while we're holding the breath, it's back and forth between the kind of cat-cow position in a flowing way. And then at the end, you're going to end on the cat position with the arch rounding of the spine. And then as you come to the end, you do the ha breath. So we do 7 rounds back and forth, and then ending on the ha breath in the cat position. Okay, so we'll do 3 rounds of this. Take an inhale. And 2 more. Inhale and hold. And last one, inhale and hold. Okay, so that one's called vomiting like a tiger. You can see why it's a very descriptive name. Okay, now we just do a massage of the whole body to spread the tigle, as it's called in Tibetan Buddhism or Tibetan medicine, or just spreading the energy that we've generated with this practice. So it's going to use that ha breath again, and I'm going to break it down. So we're not doing the whole thing for the first round, and then the second round, we'll try and do it all on one breath. We'll do it sitting today for the first one, and then we'll stand up and do the whole thing standing. All right, so first it's going to be take the breath, hold it, and then you're going to clap your hands, rub them together, face, top of the head, back of the head and neck, shoulders, and then 3 ha breaths as you shake out the energy from your arms. And then we'll move on to do the second half of the body, which will be an inhale, hold, low back, and then your left leg 3 times. And then on the third one, you cast off the energy. And then the right leg 3 times. And then chest, ribs, left arm, top and bottom, right arm, and then 3 ha breaths. All right. So find your seat. Take a deep breath in, make your Vajra breath. Face, top of the head, back of the head and neck, shoulders. Okay, second half, starting at the low back. Inhale. Low back. Left leg 3 times. Right leg 3 times. Chest, ribs, left arm, right arm. It feels really good. One of my favorite things to do. So now the fun part's doing it standing up. So that we'll do the same sequence, but we're going to do it standing up, and you can try and do it on one inhale. Do the whole body. So do your best, and don't force yourself to hold it if you need to let the breath go partway through. We're just practicing and playing with this ancient practice. So separate your feet about hips distance or even a little wider, and then a little bend to the knees. And make your inhale, make your Vajra breath. Face, top of the head, back of the head and neck, shoulders, low back, left leg 3 times, right leg 3 times, chest, ribs, left arm, right arm, and jump. Excellent. Great. So now we'll do some more hatha style asana. And that was more of a Tibetan yoga. So it's a little different. The Tibetan yogas are different from the hatha yoga. So hatha yoga is very kind of focused on a lot of the different postures. And the Tibetan yoga is really work more with like the subtle body. And if you think about the climate of the two places, Tibet is very cold. So if you want to practice real like physical body asana, it's easier to do that in India where it's warm. The body's nice and warm, so you can get into these kind of different poses. But because it's new moon, I want to be very gentle with the body. It's a lot easier to injure yourself on a moon day. So that's why, especially the Ashtanga lineage, we take rest on a moon day. We don't practice at all, or you can just take a very easy practice. So we're going to begin with the Kripalu kind of practice, and this is a moon salute. So you can bring your feet together, or you can have them about hips distance apart, and start with your hands in prayer position, and feel deep grounding through your feet. You can lift your toes and place them down. Feel the inner arches lifting, but the four corners of the feet grounding now, inside and outside of the heels, and then beneath the big toe and beneath the little toe. But all the while keeping the inner arches lifting, because whatever the inner arches of the feet are doing, then the pelvis is kind of doing the same thing. So you have the lifting of the pelvic floor when you lift the inner arches of the feet. Okay, so now as you inhale, lift your arms up overhead, and you can steeple the fingers, palms together. And as you exhale, leaning over to the right side, stretching the left side body. That's the moon channel on the left. And then inhale, come back through the center, and then exhale, leaning over to the right. And this is the sun channel. And inhale through center. Now as you exhale, step out with the toes turned out, cactus your arms, and this is goddess pose here. So arms in like a goal post. And with the inhale, stand up, bring the toes forward, arms out into star. And now the right hand is going to extend down the outside of the right leg as the left arm reaches up. And then inhale back to star pose. And then as you exhale, left hand reaches down the left leg, and the right arm reaches up and over. And then inhaling back to star pose. And now as you exhale, the left hand comes to the left thigh, or you can reach all the way down towards the left hand to right thigh or right ankle, and the right arm reaching up. And inhale back to star pose. Now other side, so right hand to left knee or ankle as the left arm lifts up. Inhale back to star. And then as you exhale, turn the toes out, find goddess pose again, cactus arms. And then inhale to star, and then you can step the feet together, bring the hands back up overhead, palms together, steeple the fingers, and exhale, lean to the right, just like we did in the beginning, like the cycles of the moon. Inhale through center, and exhale, lean to the left, and inhale through center, and exhale, prayer hands come down. We'll do one more round of that. Inhale, arms up overhead, steeple the fingers. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale through center, deep breathing. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, step out into goddess pose. Inhale to start, turn the toes forward, arms extend out. Exhale, right hand down the outside of the right leg as the left arm reaches up and over. Send the left hip to the side. Inhale, back to star. Exhale, left hand down the left leg, right arm reaches up and over. Inhale to star. And now exhale, left hand to right leg, knee or ankle. Right arm extends up, so taking a twist. And then you can look down to keep your balance as you inhale to rise up to star. And as you exhale, right hand to left knee or ankle, left arm reaching up, twisting. And look down for balance. Inhale, back up to star. And exhale, turn the toes out, find goddess. And then come up through star, and then feet together, hands up overhead with the inhale. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale through center. Exhaling to the left, like here, the moon going through its cycles. And inhale through center. And exhale. Hands come to prayer position at the heart. Okay, take a moment, take a few breaths, and absorb the energy of those Chandra Namaskar. Okay, so now let's bring hands to waist and feet about hips distance apart. And take an inhale, lift the belly and chest, keep your chin towards your chest. As you exhale, lean back, just kind of standing, gentle back bend. Try to keep your legs straight and your hips moving forward. Shoulder blades drawing together. And then inhale, come back up to standing. Extend your arms out in front of you with your palms facing down. And then as you exhale, come into a half or a full squat. It's possible that your heels might lift. And then bring your hands to the floor. Inhale, straighten your legs, flat back. So you can have your hands at your shins or fingertips to the floor in front of you. And then bend your knees, bring your palms to the floor and step directly back into downward dog. So pressing into the hands and feet here. Try to lift your hips up high. So you can lift your heels up high so the hips come up high. Try to keep the hips up high and then slowly lower the heels at the same time. Take a few breaths. And you can pedal the heels too to release the backs of the legs. And now bring the left foot to the center of the mat, just moving it in a little closer to the center line, but still keeping down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up straight, and then bend the knee, and now open the hip. So the right hip stacks on top of the left, and you can point the right toes, but at the same time, try to keep equal weight in the hands and the shoulders level. So nice deep hip opener, scorpion tail. And breathe here. And inhale, come back to even the hips. Exhale, bring the right foot down, and you can switch feet so the right foot is in the middle. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Extend through the leg. And start to bend your left knee and stack the left hip on top of the right, opening into your scorpion tail. And just enjoying and feeling your body open and release. One more breath. And now inhale, even out the hips. And exhale, now pedal the heels in your downward dog. And then you can drop down to your knees. Release the tops of the feet to the floor and find your child's pose. So you can have the knees wide apart if that feels good, or you can have the legs together. And if your legs are together, you also have the choice of releasing your arms alongside your legs rather than straight out in front. And take 5 breaths here. So whatever expression feels good, and being extra careful with the new moon energy not to push yourself. It's really this tamastic energy of just almost like a laziness, just being very grounded. There isn't a whole lot of grounding with the new moon energy. So you want to add that grounding in to balance out the energy of the new moon. So just being heavy and still very restorative. I'm going to take one more big breath. And now you can start to move up to your tabletop. And then however you want to come to sitting, you can just shift to one side and shift the legs out, or you can cross the ankles behind you and roll over your crossed ankles. Whatever way is comfortable for you to come to a seated position. And now from your seated position, you can have your legs straight out in front of you. I'm going to show you from this perspective here. So first we're going to bend, you're going to lean back. So you're getting a little bit of rounding to the spine. Bend your left knee. And then once you have your left knee pulled in as much as you can, then put the foot to the floor and try to sit up. So this is going to actively close the knee joint, which will help to protect your hip. So now that you have the knee joint as closed as you can get it, the left knee is going to open out to the side with the sole of the left foot coming towards the right inner thigh. Now, if the knee is hanging up in space here, And grab any kind of pillow, block, or blanket, whatever you have, and provide some support to that leg so that it can release this inner part of the thigh area. So make any adjustments there. And now there's a turning that happens. So you're turning towards your straight leg. And then inhale, lift the left arm up. And exhale, start to fold over your right leg. So grabbing shin, ankle, or knee. And also the left ribs are turning towards the straight right leg. And with each inhale, making more space in the body. And then with each exhale, you're just unwinding a little deeper into the pose, naturally allowing it to unfold rather than trying to push deeper. We'll take about 5 more deep breaths here. This is good for your right hamstring. Starts to open, as well as the external rotation of the left hip. And then you also have, with this kind of half twist, the QL muscle on the left side of your low to mid back spine. That also gets a nice stretch here. Okay, now with the inhale, start to rise back up with the torso, but keep the legs as they are. And now you're going to turn towards your bent knee. So the torso turns towards the left knee. Take your right hand and place it on top of the left knee. And then you can tent your left fingers behind you on the floor. Take an inhale, grow long with the spine, sit up tall. And then as you exhale, twist to the left and look over your left shoulder. So you can use the leverage of your right hand on top of your left knee to press and kind of twist. You have this anchoring of the hand to knee, and then with anchoring, you get mobility. So you can use that pressing to gently twist a little bit deeper. And then keep staying with really deep breathing when you're twisting. It helps the purification of the twist to go deeper into the spine, into the body. Relax your face and your jaw. Moving away from any kind of gripping or pushing. Okay, now you're going to keep your right hand on top of the left knee. And now bring your left hand behind your head. So the chest is still opening out. The chest is going to remain facing the left bent knee. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, with the right side body, start to lean over towards the right leg. Keep the left elbow pointing straight up and breathe. You don't need to have a deep ujjayi breath here like you would in Ashtanga. It's more of a natural breathing, but just breathing fully. Filling up the lungs completely when you inhale, and then the exhale is a total emptying out. It's like the exhale is a little bit dying, and the inhale is the rebirth. Just like the cycles of the moon. And as you inhale the next time around, slowly come up, and then you can release your hands and now turn towards your straight leg again. And now the left hand will come to the outside of the right thigh, and then the right fingers will tent behind you this time. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, long straight spine on your sitting bones. And then exhale, twist to the right and look over your right shoulder. And soften the space between your eyebrows. Try to look all the way into the right corners of your eyes. Your body wants to go where you're looking. So that will help you twist a little deeper. Take one more deep breath. And inhale here. Exhale, slowly, slowly unwind and release back to the front. And then you're going to inhale, extend your legs out straight in front of you, and the arms reach out in front of you with your palms facing each other. And now with the exhale, as slowly as you can, start to lower yourself onto your back. So the further down you get, the harder it is on your core strength to keep the control. So a little core workout there. So that was the exhale to come down. And now the inhale, lift your legs up straight above. And then with the exhale, bend your knees and take happy baby. So I like to hold the outer edges of the feet, but some people like to hold the inside edge of the feet. So whatever feels good. We'll just take a couple breaths here in happy baby. And with your next inhale, straighten your legs. And exhale, bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. Bring your elbows in close to your side. And then with your inhale, press into your feet and lift your hips, chest rising towards the chin into a half bridge. Take a breath. With your next exhale, slowly lower the hips down. And now draw your knees in towards you. And you can hold around the front of the knee, or you can hold the backs of the thighs. And then inhale, swing yourself up to sitting, or you can roll over onto your side and spiral up to the seat. And then we'll do the other side with that sequence. So extending the legs out straight in front of you. And this time bend, so you're going to lean back, find that little bit of tucking of the tail. Bend the right knee, bring the foot to the floor. And now that your knee joint is closed, you can sit up straight. So reducing that kind of tucking of the tail now, more of an arching of the back. And then allow the right knee to open out to the right, sole of the right foot towards the left inner thigh, and then placing any necessary props under the right knee so that it has support under it. And slightly turning towards your left leg, inhale, lift the right arm straight up to extend, and then exhale. Come down, grabbing the shin, ankle, or foot of the left leg with your right hand, and then the left hand can come to meet it. And imagine your right ribs are just turning towards your left thigh, grounding with the right sitting bone, but the pelvis is turning towards the straight leg. Soften the space between your eyebrows. And find a sense of letting go rather than trying to force yourself further down. Inhale to receive and exhale to let go. 2 more deep breaths here. And inhale, slowly, slowly come back up and take a pause at the top for a moment. And now you're going to take your left hand and place it on top of your right knee, and the right hand will tent behind you on the floor or on a block if you need that extra space. Inhale, sit up tall. And exhale, twisting to the right. Look over your right shoulder and breathe. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Let go of any tension. Now keeping the left hand on top of the right knee, bring your right hand behind your head. The chest stays open towards your right bent knee. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lean the left side body over your left straight leg. And then the right elbow moves up towards the ceiling. Parigasana variation, gate pose. 2 more deep breaths. And inhale, slowly rise up. Exhale, you can release the hands and turn the entire torso towards your straight leg. And now the right hand will come to the outside of the left thigh, tensing the left fingers behind you. Take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, twisting to the left. Looking all the way into the left corners of the eyes. And one more inhale. And exhale, slowly release back to the front. And then the Supta Vinyasa. Inhale, straighten your legs out in front. Extend your arms out in front of you. Exhale slowly and with as much control as you can, come to lie on your back. Maybe bend your knees if you're having any difficulty there. And then inhale, lift your legs up straight. And then as you exhale, bend your knees and take happy baby. So if holding the feet is too much, you can always hold the backs of the thighs or hold the outer edges of the feet or inner edges of the feet. A few breaths to enjoy this hip opening. Trying to keep the ankles above the knees and the soles of the feet pointing up towards the sky. And with your next inhale, straighten your legs again. Exhale, bring your feet to the floor with your knees bent, elbows in close to your side. Inhale, press into your feet, lift your hips, half bridge. Take a breath. And then exhale, slowly lower your hips down and draw your knees in. And with your next inhale, roll up or come onto your side and spiral up. And we'll do Baddha Konasana. So now the soles of the feet come together and you have external rotation on both legs. So you may want to take 2 blocks now. If you're using them in Janu Shirshasana, you can prop up both legs if they're not contacting the floor. So you can keep the space between the legs rather wide here. This is a more restorative version rather than pulling the heels all the way in. So as wide as feels good for you. So you have a big diamond shape in between the legs in front of you. And then when you're ready, you can take an inhale and lengthen. And then as you exhale, slowly start to fold forward. Coming into this wide-legged Baddha Konasana, forward fold. Really releasing. This is so nice for the low back with the wide Baddha Konasana leg position. Inhaling to make space, and then the exhale to let go. And see if there's any gripping in the body anywhere. It doesn't have to be only the hips, it could be in the shoulders or even in the face, or even if your mind is gripping, draw your attention back to the sensation of the breath coming in and out of your nostrils or the rising and falling of the chest. Anytime you bring your attention back to your physical body by being mindful of your breath, you're grounding yourself. Grounding your experience in your physical body is so important. And often we get distracted by the idea of connecting with our chakras and our etheric body, but you can't effectively do that unless you're first grounded in the physical. So the more effectively you can be present and grounded physically, then the more effectively you can do the more subtle body energy work. And take one more deep breath. And inhale, lift your head, and then start to slowly, very slowly rise up. So when we take positions for a longer amount of time with less engagement, you want to come out of them really slowly so that you don't hurt yourself. Because the body is more vulnerable when you take more of a kind of yin approach to the postures. Yin meaning just more relaxed and just easeful. So now I'm going to give you two variations to choose from here. We're going to do either a pigeon pose. So with the right leg in front and sending the left leg behind you. So you always want to have the knee out to the side, the bent knee out to the side, and the heel in towards your navel. So if this feels already too intense, what you can do instead is either sitting up, make figure four with the right ankle on top of the left thigh, or you can also do that figure four lying down on your back. And then you can always thread the needle and hold the back of the left thigh. And if you do the figure four variation, you want to keep the right foot flexed. So that's going to help to protect your knee from trying to compensate from any hip tension. So whenever you have a right angle at the leg, you want to keep the right, when you have a right angle at your knee, you want to keep that foot flexed. So if you want to take figure four, or you can come into pigeon, with the right leg bent. So there's more of an angle at the bent leg here for pigeon. So you see it's not at a right angle. So that means don't flex your foot. Keep the foot relaxed, okay? I'm going to be here for, stay here for a little while. So make sure when you come in, you just find the point where you start to feel something, but not too much. You want to leave some space for any sensation to intensify. And that is how you enter a yin pose. You're not trying to push deeper and deeper. You just find a little bit of sensation and then you pause there and you just work with that. And that is going to just allow you to relax. So even if you normally do this in a kind of more vinyasa class, don't expect that you're going to go as deep into it when you're doing more of a yin expression. And yin is the energy that you want to work with for the new moon. And the breath can just be natural here. And it's always nice to take a deep breath and find anywhere that's particularly tense or if it's feeling locked up, visualize that you're breathing into that place. So you may not actually be breathing into that place. The air itself is not going there, but because you're bringing your attention to that place as you breathe, the prana will flow there. And it's the sun that infuses the air with the life force, the prana. And so as you breathe, you're not only, excuse me, taking in oxygen, you're also taking in that life force energy, sustaining the energetic body. You could take 3 more deep breaths here. And now, if you're folded forward, place your hands on the floor and slowly come back up from your pigeon pose. If you're in figure 4, you can stay on your back or stay seated. And come onto the left knee and bring the right knee back. And then come onto your seat, so roll over your crossed ankles. And then you can lean back on your hands wherever you are, come to sitting, lean back on your hands and have a nice amount of space between your heels and your seat with your feet wide apart, about the width of the mat, and then just very gently windshield wiper side to side with the knees. And then we'll come to do that same pose on the left. So if you were lying on your back or sitting and doing figure 4, and do that on the other side too, or if you had pigeon, then it's going to be the left leg coming in, the right leg extends behind you, and make sure you have the left heel in line with your navel, and then the left knee is going out to the side. It may even go out beyond the side of the mat. And find your hips to be square, so you can also put a block under your seat to give you some more support if you need that. And then ease yourself down slowly, and find that first point of sensation where you just start to feel something. And then pause there. So you can always take about 20 seconds and breathe. And then if you feel like it's not deepening, you can adjust and maybe go a little bit deeper, but doing that mindfully. So without a constant kind of moving and shimmying around, you want to find stillness in these yin poses. Make sure your jaw is relaxed. So you can always keep the tongue at the roof of the mouth, and then the jaw will naturally be released. And keeping the tongue at the roof of the mouth, the tip of the tongue just behind at the back of the front teeth, where the teeth come out of the gum. Keeping the tongue there helps to stimulate the vagus nerve. So really a healthy nervous system. Just by that simple placement of the tongue. And that's the same place we were holding the tongue when we were in Vajra, the 7-point meditation posture at the beginning. Feel the sense of letting go. And now take 3 more deep breaths. And when you're ready, very slowly use your hands to press yourself back up. So from whatever position you're in, come to sitting and have your feet in front of you with your heels a bit far from your sitting bones and your feet wide apart. And then just taking gentle windshield wipers to release the hips. Okay, so we're going to do one more pose. So if you have a bolster or a blanket, you can get that. Some options. Just going to finish with the basic Paschimottanasana, the forward fold, so with straight legs. So you can either roll up a blanket and put it under your knees, have your feet about hips distance apart, or you can use a bolster for that. You can also place a bolster or blanket right at your belly to give you some support as you fold forward. You don't really have to use anything. You can also put the blanket under your seat to lift the hips up a little bit if that feels good. So Find a comfortable expression. We'll take just a couple minutes in Paschimottanasana, and then we'll chant to Ganesha to remove obstacles on this new moon so that we can complete our intentions using this new moon energy of new beginnings and possibility. And so you're just very gently draping your upper body over your legs. Now you can relax the legs. This is the yin expression of this pose, which is called caterpillar in yin. So everything is just letting go. You're not trying to engage your quads or anything. You can let the feet kind of fan out to the side if that happens naturally. And you can even let the back round a bit. And just draping the body over the legs. Stay here breathing for a few more moments. Just going to get my mala beads. Okay. All right, so take 2 more deep breaths in your forward fold. And very slowly, just roll the torso back up to sitting. And then come back to a comfortable seated posture like we did in the beginning of class. So you can sit up on a bolster or a block. And maybe it's a bit easier to sit cross-legged now that we did those nice hip openers. So now you can take your mala beads if you have them. And if you don't, that's all right. So Ganesha is the remover of obstacles, and it helps to usher in new beginnings. So we'll do 1 round of the mala 108 times, chanting to Ganesha. So I'll chant aloud for a few rounds, then I'll chant silently so you can continue the recitation of the mantra in your mind as well. And I'll keep track, and then I'll come back in for like the last 10 or so back aloud so that you know we're coming towards the end. And as you're doing this, just try to really keep your mind on the mantra, and you can also keep awareness at the heart center. Okay. Take a cleansing breath here. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Ganapataye Ganapataye. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. 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 You can call your intention back to mind again and say it 3 times, offer it to Ganesha. And then when you're ready, you can come to lie down. So get comfortable. I'm going to lead you through a rotation of consciousness, 61 points of light. And so at the end, so you may get very relaxed. And so when I end class, you may want to stay resting. And I actually encourage you to do that because you can really go quite deep with this practice. So just for a matter of time, I will end at 10:15. But please, by all means, stay lying down, resting when I end class and say goodbye. Okay. So any pillows or blankets or anything, just to make yourself as comfortable as you can. And if you wanted to put a scarf over your eyes or something like that, you can do that. Okay, so find your reclined position by Peter, and take a few grounding breaths and make any minor adjustments to your position. Just try to make yourself at least 10% more comfortable. Do anything that you need to do to get just a little bit more comfortable. And find stillness. I'm going to take you on a little tour around the body. And so as I guide you, I'm going to name points in the body. And I'd like you to please visualize a point of light like a star. So you can see the star in that place in the body, or if you have a hard time visualizing, you can just follow my voice. And it can be a star-like point of light, like blue star, maybe a green comet, or like a candle flame, whatever resonates with you. We're not trying too hard, just using this as a way to bring your body into deep relaxation by just moving your consciousness around the body. And so we'll start at the eyebrow center, the third eye. We'll see a star-like point of light at the third eye. We'll see a star at the throat. A point of light at your right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, a star. The tip of your right thumb, right index finger, right middle finger, right ring finger, right little finger, right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, point of light at your throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, a star at the tip of your left thumb, left index finger, left middle finger, left ring finger, left little finger, left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder. See a star at your heart center, right chest, heart center, left chest, heart center, point of light at your navel, the top of your pubic bone, right hip, right knee, right ankle, a star at the tip of your right big toe, right second toe, right third toe, right fourth toe, right little toe, right ankle, right knee, right hip, pubic bone, left hip, left knee, left ankle, left big toe, left second toe, left third toe, left fourth toe, left little toe, left ankle, left knee, a star, left hip, pubic bone, navel, point of light at your heart center, the hollow of your throat. I see a star at your third eye. I now see all these points of light like a constellation of stars. The rest of your body, the empty space around these stars. Your breath like wind through space. Breath like wind through space. And rest here. And as you rest, you can keep your attention at your heart center, quiet and peaceful. You're welcome to stay here resting for as long as you like. I'm going to offer the merits of our practice to benefit all beings with the Mangala mantra. And then I'll say goodbye and sign off. Om Swasti Prajabhyai Pariparayantam Nayena Margena Mahimahishaha Gobrahmanebhyaha Shubhamastu Natyam Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much. Namaste.